we're going to be going through some more of what's on the shelf. Last time we talked about DC Legacies, and today we're talking about Marvels, which is fitting because many people compare the two. Now, this one came first. It's from 1994 originally. It was a 4-issue miniseries. It was written by Kurt Busiek and has art by Alex Ross. Also, there was an issue 0, so 5-ish issues. And it is a tale going through the history of the Marvel Universe from a kind of ground level. You're following a photographer, Phil Sheldon, and he's there for some key moments in Marvel history, and he's cataloging it through photographs. So this is a very visual book, and it's also a very splendid book in that regard. It's very gorgeous, and you get to see some of the classic moments just lovingly rendered. It starts off from the Golden Age, and it does pull through some of the few timely characters who have made their way down to when Marvel Comics became Marvel. Because unlike DC, Marvel hasn't pulled down as many of the Golden Age characters that were there in the same kind of fashion of linking everything together, but you get to see the original Human Torch, Namor, Captain America, and more. Sheldon dubs them Marvels, which is kind of a nice play on where they debuted. The Human Torch debuted in Marvel Comics #1 back in 1939. So there are some fun historic ties to this. This one also has the 2019 epilogue, which reunited the two, which if you read it first like that, does give a different vibe than if you read it originally where it's just the 4, because very much kind of finishes off with the death of Gwen Stacy as this kind of crisis point, which is significant because that was a really big happening in comics. In fact, while they discuss exactly where the Silver Age ends and the Bronze Age begins, it's kind of a bit transitory. For many, the death of Gwen Stacy in 1973 is given as the clear demarcation point of, okay, now it's serious, this is the Bronze Age. So it was a very significant event, and it was also back when death had some weight. Even though it ends with Sheldon meeting a young Danny Ketch and the hint of a next generation of heroes, there is a bit of somberness to it. It has a different vibe than when you then read the epilogue with it, which is how I first read it. When I picked this up, I had no idea it was a 25th anniversary edition. It was just like, ooh, look at the art, Marvels. Also because of that, this one has a lot of extra material in it. You can actually see it here demarked where the comic ends and then the extras begin, which is very cool. It was a pleasant surprise. Back in the day when I first started, it's just grabbing stuff off of shelves. I didn't know. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. This is a very loving rendering of the Marvel Universe and just showing how it evolves along one timeline. When it comes to comparing the two, I do like both. This one goes through a bit more of the timeline. However, this one feels a bit more cohesive because you have one artist, whereas that one has very nice art throughout, but you have multiple artists. They're both good. You get something unique out of both of them. And if you're just a fan of seeing histories told in a way that doesn't feel as though you're reading an encyclopedia, then both of these are very humanistic and fun approaches to the process. And again, they don't make a note to name absolutely everybody or exactly all the little references they're making, but if you're familiar, it's a treasure trove for that. That's Marvels, which is a fun read, and we'll be back to look at what else is back there. Until next time.